All right, today we're going to go over 11 through 15. All right, so this first one, it says which situation best represents a causation. So remember, causation is a true cause and effect. All right, so A says as the outdoor temperature increases, the number of movie tickets sold increases. Well, that's not a true cause and effect. Sure, there's a relationship because if it's really hot outside, people tend to want to do activities that are more inside, which is watching a movie. Okay, but that does not necessarily mean that the ticket sales will, or movie tickets will be sold more. All right. B says as you exercise, the number of calories burned increases. That is very true. That is a cause and effect. All right, so let's look at C though. So a decrease in number of pirates leads to global warming. No, like absolutely not. So B is our answer. Okay, so it's a true cause and effect. All right, so if you want notes, just write cause and effect. All right, number 12 says, what are the factors of this equation? So 16w squared plus 24w plus 9. So again, if we're asking for factors, you can use menu 331. So remember, after you do menu 331, you have to do bottoms up. All right, so in your menu 331, your first box will get a 16. Your second box will get 24. And your third and final box is 9. So when you do that, you get a solution of, it should come in as negative 3 over 4, comma negative 3 over 4. All right, so this just means that there's one solution, okay? Or it might just pop up as negative 3 over 4. So I graphed it again because I don't have this calculator at home. All right, so when I graphed it, the only time it hits the x-axis is at this negative 0.75. So again, 0.75 is a fraction of negative 3 over 4. So remember, bottoms up, the bottom number, so 4. 4 gets the, 4 gets the variable, and then add or subtract the top number, but do the opposite sign. So because this is a negative fraction, we're going to add 3. All right, so it should be 2 of these, or you can do 4x plus 3, and then it's squared. So it could be one or the other. So you put it twice, or you just put that it's squared. All right. So remember, bottoms up, bottom number gets the variable, add or subtract the top number, use the opposite sign. All right, number 13, a quadratic function x can be used to model the height and feet of a rocket from the ground seconds after it is launched. The graph of the function is shown. All right, so now it's just asking for parts. So what are the x-intercepts? So I'm going to use different colors here. So your x-intercepts, remember, is where it hits the x-axis. So I'm going to highlight those in blue. All right, so we're going to write these in ordered pairs, by the way. So this is 0, 0, and 7.5, 0. All right, your y-intercept is where it hits the y-axis. Well, the only time it hits the y-axis is at 0, 0. All right. Your vertex, remember, is your minimum or your maximum. So in this case, it's, I'm trying to highlight. I'm going to circle it too. Your vertex is this point right here. It's your minimum or your maximum. So you have to know that ordered pair. Okay, so it's going to, you got to follow it to the, so it's 3.75, comma, 225. All right, so this is also known as the maximum. So if it ever asks for the maximum, you would put that ordered pair, or you would just put the 225. All right, and then the axis of symmetry. Remember, the axis of symmetry is always, it's a different color here, is always a line. Oh, that's too dark. Let's do pink. Is always the line that goes through the vertex, but it's vertical. Okay, and it's always the x value of your vertex. So in this case, it's x equals 3.75. So remember, it's going to be an equation of a line, okay? Because it's an axis of symmetry. It's a line that cuts the graph in half. All right. Again, what are the factors? So again, you're going to use menu 331. So in this case, in your first box, you're going to put 9. In your second box, you're going to put a 0. Why? Because there's nothing with the value of n. Okay, and just n. All right, and then A0, your last box, will have a negative 25. And when you do that, you get your solutions as negative 5 over 3 and 5 over 3. Okay, so these are your solutions. I graph this. Okay, and obviously it doesn't have any fractions, so I had to convert this to a fraction. But again, remember your factors, aka solutions, are where the graph crosses the x-axis. All right, so in this case, the same number, just a positive and negative. So when we turn these into factors, remember it's bottoms up. So in this first one, 3 gets the variable, but then you add or subtract the top using the opposite sign. So it's 3n plus 5, and then 3n minus 5. Okay, all right, so I'm going to highlight this. So that factor goes to the first solution, whereas this factor goes to the positive solution. All right, and then last but not least, what are the x and y intercepts of this graph? Okay, your x-intercept, again, is where it crosses the x-axis. So in this case, oh, that is definitely the y-axis. The x-axis. All right, so in this case, it's 1, 0. And then your y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So in this case, it's 0, 5.